everyone, Jackie Bloom here, independent consultant with Close to My Heart. And sorry about the delay of about, 45 minutes. Unexpected company came knocking on the door. What are you going to do? Life happens. So, let's get started. Here's the first card that I'm going to be showing you today. And I'm just waiting to make sure that I'm all centered. Yep, looks good. And this was really fun to do. I don't know if you can see that there is some gold shimmer brush on there, but let me show you how we do this. The stamp set that I'm using is this one. Oh, just dropped all my pieces on my table. Okay. Goes out of the way. And this one is D 1933 Treasured Memories. So that is for the flowers and the leaves. And then the UR is from B 1713. UR, and there's a bunch of things on here. I of course like the glitter to my glue. So there's that one. And the colors I used on this card are, get that ready, Caroline, Pewter, and Saffron. Let's set that aside. So I am using these pieces. Okay, so we're going to start with the Caroline, and this is the square that goes on top, and basically I'm going to lightly ink up the stamp, place it fully on, and then just start using up that extra ink to fill in. So I'm just barely inking it up. It's important, and if you get that far and you need to just go around the edges, take off the first layer, and that helps so that way you don't get a line on your artwork. So you can just go around, and by taking off that first generation, it's not so noticeable. And that's all there is to making that background. Okay, so next I'm going to take my leaves with the pewter, and I'm going to do one there. I'm going to stack this right on top. Sorry if my head gets in the way. So it's a little taller. And I know I want one big flower there and one here. Now what you can do, grab the flower, is you can put the flower on. So that way you know where it's going. Okay? And then we'll go back to our leaves. Let's see, how many more did we do? Let's do one there, one there. I think I have one more there. Okay, so that takes care of that part. And then we are going to switch to this little itty bitty flower. And we're going to put that right on top of here. Okay. So now, what I did, a piece of scratch paper. I wanted to show you how I did these little flowers. Because you can see they look a little different. They look like they have lines in them. You see that? And all I did is take the saffron and the big flower and the little flowers. I did it with both. And instead of, well, I do ink it up like normal, right? There's a little piece of something in there. And then I just drag it across and stamp. Drag it across and stamp. And you can even do that with the little ones. Drag it across and stamp. And that's all I did. And cut them out. Okay. Hopefully you can hear me good. Let me check my volume. Turn it up a little more. Okay. So then I cut those out. You already see that. So now, before we put it on here, let's get all this out of the way. I want to do a little bit of gold shimmer brush. Remember to shake those up. Get all that glitter going. And we are going to put a little bit onto here. You might have to push it once. And I've got this upside down. Turn it the right way around. Like so. There we go. And you got to get enough on there that you can see it kind of puddles a little bit. And then we're just going to flick it off onto here. Do a little bit more. So I want it kind of heavier on the bottom part. So you can see I'm getting some good little pieces there. Alright. So, hopefully you can see that. And I'll do a still shot. And then this you can either put onto a piece of cardstock. And save that for later. Or stamp something with it on there. Or you can just wash it off. Either way. Whatever you want to do. Okay, so we'll give that a second to dry. Then basically all I did is, I'll pull this one back in, is I put a little foam tape on the back of these, just in the middle, so you can kind of curve them up and stuff. And I just glued those right on top. It gives me a nice where to put them. That way if you're looking under, you get a little hint of that under there. It just kind of adds to it. And I just put this on, a little bit of bling, and there you go. So that is our first one. Get this out of the way. So I can show you the next one. Anybody out there? Don't see anybody. Say hi if you're around. Okay. So, next, we are going to be doing this card. And I don't know if you can tell, but there is some Lemonade shimmer brush, which is new this catalog, and I also put it over the words, so hopefully you can see a little bit of that. Alright, so I already have my pieces of paper. I've got my background, my full strength of Tangerine, and then the reverse side of Tangerine, which is 30%. Okay, got all my little pieces here. And so this just goes wherever you want it. This is what you stamp your words up here. And then I just went along like so. And this one has foam tape. And just kind of sandwich those in like so. Okay? Pretty easy. And I went over this. This is the Lemonade. And all I did, just very carefully, so as not to get outside the lines. Take your time. I just went over that like so. And And hopefully you can see a little bit of that shine. Okay, so the stamp sets I used for this one are, the color of ink was Fern. The markers I will put down below in the comments because I'm using them for a couple of different ones, so I only have a handful of them right now, which are these ones, Orange, Citrus Blend, and Gold Brown. And then I'll put the rest of them in the comments. So Fern ink. And this one, I love this. This has everything on this stamp set is a thin cut. Even these 3 bubbles. And the line of bubbles. Everything. And this one is, if you like it, Z3742. Oh, and there goes the phone. Hopefully my husband will get it. The other one, this is the leaf, and it is Z3745. And there again, you'll see this light coloring on everything. That means that everything that you see that's colored in this blue is a thin cut. And I can't wait to try these waves out. The camera's cute. The little house is cute. I saw somebody take this surfboard and made it into something else. So, for those out there with a lot of creativity, go to it. Alrighty, next up is this sweet gnome. And he's got a little bit of clear shimmer brush on his beard. Just a tiny bit. Okay, so I'll let you look at that one for a minute. Here's my pieces. So I've already put this base on, and what I wanted you to notice about that is it goes clear to the edge of the card that is the opening rather than the fold, which is a little different. And then just split the difference a little bit here, and then put the zip strip on. I punched out 2 of these, and what I did, there's my little gnome guy, is I took this one, put it in my paper trimmer, and because this has, let's turn it around, because this has a guide rail, I can see exactly where it's going to cut, so I can go right down the middle of it. Now, the important thing is to keep that together like it was, okay? And the reason for that is because you want to stamp your treat yourself on this edge and the happy birthday, which I would start and do birthday and then happy, okay? Because it tucks under a little bit under the gnome. And then this way, by keeping it straight, you get those 2 on there, and then you know which is the top, which is the bottom, okay? I used New England Ivy ink to stamp those. And I used the clear shimmer brush, like I told you, around his beard. And the colors I used for him were Fair Skin, Dull Gray, Tan, and Dark Red. Now, on the other one, the other colors that I used were, let's see if I can do this, like this. So I used this dull green on the leaves, the red on the flower in the center of that, this tan and fair skin, no, not fair skin, yeah, just tan. Here we go. There we go. All these colors on this card. And if you stay to the end, I have a little surprise. Oh, who's watching? Jody! Hi, Jody! Okay. So, here's another tip. Put adhesive down the middle of this and put that right along there. So that way you can tuck these in to where you like it. And then your gnome just is layered on top. And then I put the little white dots. That's what they're called. Okay. And the 2 stamp sets that I used on this one were the Happy Birthday is this Say It in Style D1283, and there's tons of words because you're always looking for words. And I even like that it has a couple of happy and a couple of, I believe, if I can find it, a couple of birthdays. There's one here. Where's the other one? Birthday. So there's a couple birthdays and a couple happies and a bunch of other stuff. This one will be retiring, so get it if you want it. And then the gnomes, which are out of stock, but they did reorder. It's supposed to be here right around the 1st or 2nd or 3rd of August, somewhere right in there. And this is Z3741 if you like that one. So they will be back. Thank you, close to my heart. Alrighty. And the last one I have for you is, get those out of the way, is this one. Now this is where I got the Treat You, or Treat Yourself, that is on this card. Okay, and this was actually from the card kit, which is close to being, I think, sold out. So if you like this one, get it now, and it is G1209. So here's the instructions. You get the cardstock, the paper that you need, you get the stamp set, which is, sorry. Come here. I'm dropping everything. It's Klutz Day. Did you know? Did no one tell you it's Klutz Day? Yep. So here's the stamp set, Z3744. Stay Cool. And you can only get that stamp set in this card kit. And here's the lovely instructions that they have. So it tells you everything, how to cut it. I would suggest, as you're going through these, you put a little pile for 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then as you cut them, they say 2A, 1A, 4A. You put them in the corresponding piles. The other thing to notice is that right down here, make sure I'm on camera, is front and back with a little asterisk. So when you see that little asterisk up here, you know that they are using the back of the paper. So turn it over and your cut will be much nicer. Okay? And then once you get all your cutting done, and your thin cutting, which I would suggest if you have white paper, just use your scratch and save that nice big piece. Up to you. And then every one of these is numbered. 1A, 1B, 1C, tells you 1/2 inch down from the fold and 1/2 inch from that right side. And that'll explain to you how to do this. So you can visualize what your pieces are. You can always go back to the chart and say, oh, okay, that was the white cardstock on 1C, which is right here. Okay? And then this is really cool because it tells you what color and what stamps to use, 1st generation, 2nd generation, whatever tip they did, and how to do this for your little elements. So it's a lovely, lovely instructions. I love them to death. They're just great. Close to My Heart is the best. And this is the one that we're making, and we made one modification on it. Bonnie was here and did cards with me, and this is the one that she wanted to do from this packet. And so we changed it up just ever so slightly, and we added this piece of tangerine back here. She didn't know she was a fan of this whole big piece of this background page. I think it's so cute. So instead of being something like this, we just added that little piece of cardstock and pinned it. So let me show you how I do that. Grab a pencil. Okay. So I love our grid paper, and I'm lining this up, hopefully right there. And there's numbers down here, so I know each square is 2.5 inches. So it's great for finding the middle, right? So it's 1.25. 1.25 is the middle. But then you can also, okay, I want to go up 1/2 inch. So I know that right there is 1/2 inch. So it can also help you with how deep you make your pendant. And the other tip I'm going to give you, I don't know if it happens for you, but I always do the left first, and then I turn it over, because if I tend to do it from this way, I always get a little bit of a curve to that one. So I just turn it over, and then it's nice and straight on both sides. Okay? So this is another way, if you're doing a bunch of them, you can make them all the same size. So if I were doing a bunch, I would probably line it up over here. I would make sure that I line up my center point, and then I would put a couple registrations of here and here. So it just gives me more of an easy way to make sure I'm doing them the same. Okay? Oh, and I forgot to mention, I don't know if you saw, but you also get the acrylic white hearts. And this is a full pack, so look at all that in there. There's a ton. That one's really cute because it has a little heart in it. And sometimes that little heart will still be in there. You just poke it out. Those are really cute. And these, you can put stickles on them to color the top of them. Here, I'll show you what that is. So you can put stickles on. The thicker you go, the more time it'll take to dry. You can also emboss, put your embossing, like Versamark on top of here, and then take it with some tweezers and dip it into your embossing powder, hold it with your tweezers and heat it up, and you can change the color of these. So whatever embossing powder you have. Okay. So this one just goes, split the difference here. You can split the difference here. Here's another thing I like, is I can say, oh, okay, this is 2.5, and this is, what is this? This is 3.5. So then I can just say, okay, 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch, and I can measure it right there. Ta-da! There we go. And then you add your, I don't know if you saw the little, I add these with glue dots because they stay better. I added them with adhesive and they didn't stay on very good. So I did glue dots. I did raise that up. I did not raise that up. And that is all 4 cards. I'll bring them back in so you can see them in case you're joining us a little bit later. And I have one more thing to say to you guys. And that is that I have 3 sets of this card kit. If anybody is interested, the video will be available shortly. And I have 3 packs left. If you want to do this workshop, just send me a little note, or you can put it in the comments. And I also wanted to let you know, what is it? This one, and this one. On Friday, thank God it's art time at 9 a.m. Pacific time. I will be showing you how I colored in these 3 images live on Facebook, and then I will transfer it over and upload it to YouTube. So let me know if you're interested in that. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. I'd love to hear your comments on what was your favorite card. And as always, thank you for supporting my business. If you need to shop, there's where you shop. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Bye, everyone. Hi, Judy. Thank you for joining me.